Good morning and welcome to the University of Calgary's Olympic Oval. We are very pleased to be bringing the 2023 Winter Classic on ice and through the Olympic Oval YouTube channel today. Today is February 3rd, 2023. This is the first day of the Winter Classic, which will be featuring 500 meters and 1,500 meters distances today. I'd like to take this opportunity to acknowledge the traditional territories of the people of the Treaty 7 region in southern Alberta, which includes the Blackfoot Confederacy, comprising the Siksika, Piikani, and Kainai First Nations, as well as the Tsuut'ina First Nation and the Stoney Nakoda, including the Chiniki, Bearspaw, and Wesley First Nations. The City of Calgary is also home to Métis Nation of Alberta, Region 3. We have 13 pairs for the women's 500. This is the first 500 of the weekend. And we have 16 men's pairs coming up. Just a reminder to all skaters that you are responsible to have your own armbands. Make sure you arrive at this start line with your armbands. You're looking at a schedule, which is available online as well. The bold times are the restart times. We will not start before that time. So that means we will be starting at 9 a.m. Going to do women's 500, then the men's 500 pairs, followed by an ice resurfacing. 1500s will begin at 10:30 this morning, Mountain Time. Skaters, just a reminder, please no trains more than 2 skaters together. And please rest on the inside of the warm-up lane only. Also remember that there are no accelerations on the start turn and through the start area. So this is the last Classic Series competition at the Oval this season. We will be calculating the season points. Lots of big prizes to be had, so make sure to leave it on the ice, skaters. There's some nice kitch up for grabs today and this weekend. Once again, we're going to be getting underway at 9 o'clock. The women's 500 followed by the men's 500. And also today we will be featuring 1,500 meter distances. We have quite a range of competitors today. We have some young juniors looking to get some personal bests, certain distances. We have some neo-seniors, senior competitors. A few of our oval athletes are doing just a relaxing competition weekend after many of them were in Manitoba last weekend. And we also have some masters skaters racing today too. So we got a good variety of athletes. And once again, welcome to the Olympic Oval. As always, the Olympic Oval Skate Shop is open today and they are well stocked. There's some special advice or you need some special equipment, chat with the technicians there. If they don't have what you need in stock, they might be able to order it in for you. For those of you online, you can check out the skate shop's online version and send them a question or call the office, connect with someone there. Testing the bell lap. So this weekend, the Winter Classic 2023, our chief referee is Rona Hathaway, assisted by Dave Thompson and Werner Myers. Our starter, Myron Pierman. Thank you to all the volunteers for coming out today. Big thank you to the Olympic Oval staff for running this competition as well. Heading to the home stretch of the season. So in our first pair, we're going to have a couple of Saskatchewan, Alberta skaters. Looks like everybody's on the warm-up track, so we're getting ready to go here. Referees are getting in place. So in pair one, we'll feature in the inner lane, Ella Cloutier of Saskatchewan, and in the outer lane, Tatiana Defleck of Alberta. Underway shortly. Big welcome to everybody online. This is the 2023 Winter Classic Long Track Competition at the Olympic Oval at the University of Calgary. Today is Friday, February 3rd, 2023. All right, I think we're just about ready to get underway with our 500-meter women's #1 race at the 2023 Winter Classic. I believe our referees are in place, and in pair 1, inner lane will be Ella Cloutier of Saskatchewan, and the outer lane, Tatiana Defleck of Alberta. This is pair 1 of the women's 500-meter distance today, February 3rd, at the 2023 Winter Classic. Couple of juniors skating here today. We have Ella Cloutier with the green Saskatchewan team suit, and Tatiana Defleck wearing the oval suit. Unofficially, 42.94 for Defleck and 44.34 for Ella Cloutier. In pair 2, on the inner lane, Zoe Luters of Alberta, and the outer lane, Isabelle Champagne of Alberta. And they're off with this second pairing of the women's 500 meters. Zoe Luters with the white armband. Isabelle Champagne with the red. Alberta provincial team mates here, racing on their home ice. That's unofficially a 42.01 for Isabella, PB, and 42.9 for Zoe Luters. In pairing 3, on the inner lane, Molly Johnson of Alberta, and the outer lane, Brielle Durham of Ontario. There we go, a couple of oval teammates here. Molly with the white armband, Brielle with the red. Doing a tune-up race here today at the 2023 Winter Classic. Coming to the finish line. That's a 42.08 PB for Brielle Durham, 42.92 unofficially for Molly Johnson. And the fourth pair, inner lane, Haley Bell of Alberta, and the outer lane, Robin Soleil of Manitoba. Another tune-up race for these Olympic oval elite athletes. Hello to the fans in Manitoba watching today, watching Robin Saleh, who's a junior skater from Manitoba, racing Haley Bell, experienced Alberta provincial team member. Final corner. Looking for some PBs maybe today here. That's a 41.9 for Haley Bell, 42.27 unofficially for Saleh. In pairing 5 in the inner lane, Anna Bai Farstad of Norway. And the outer lane, Caitlin Pelkey of Alberta. Similar oval suits. The Farstad has the white armband, Pelkey with the red. 500-meter distance at the 2023 Winter Classic here this morning, February 3rd. Welcome to everyone who's tuned in online. Heading for the finish line. These ladies looking for some good times this morning. That's Farstad. It's like a season's best, 40.77, and Pelkey, 41.68. Pair number 6 on the inner lane, Jenna Larder of Prince Edward Island. Outer lane, Serena Dallaire of Saskatchewan. Once again, this is Jenna Larder of Prince Edward Island on the inner lane and Serena Dallaire on the outer lane. Dallaire doing some tune-up racing before heading to Canada Games, racing for her home province. Jenna Larder's been in Alberta for a few years, but she's originally from PEI. Hello to folks out there watching on YouTube. And that's a 42.68 PB for Jenna. 43.19 unofficially for Serena. In pair 7, we have the inner lane, Sarah Hopkins. On the outer lane, Rachel Millard of Ontario. All right, that's a clean start for this pair 7 women's 500-meter distance. Inner lane, Sarah Hopkins. Outer lane, Rachel Millard. There we come. Into the finish line. Unofficially, 43.61 for Millard, 44.49 for Sarah Hopkins. In pair 8, inner lane, Lewis Spence of Alberta. And the outer lane, Camille Alford of Alberta. Young ladies looking to see what they can do, maybe capture a PB today. Got some home ice here. Know what's going on at the Oval. See what they can do with their times today. Unofficially, Alford 44.71 and Spence 47.54. In pair 9, inner lane, Melissa Scutchings of Saskatchewan. And the outer lane, Sydney Benny of BC. These nice colorful suits. Again, in the inner lane, Melissa Scutchings of Saskatchewan. Outer lane, Sydney Benny of BC. Welcome to all the listeners online. You've tuned into the February 3rd, 2023, day 1 of Winter Classic at the Olympic Oval at the University of Calgary. This is pair number 9, 500-meter distance. Final corner, heading for home. Unofficially, season's best for Benny, 45.79, and a PB for Scutchings, 47.9. Next, we have pair 10 in the inner lane, Denise Wessling of Alberta. In the outer lane, Cassandra Curry of Alberta. Got a Calgary-Edmonton match here. Cassandra Curry with the perhaps a slight advantage, training outdoors most of the season at the beautiful Victoria Park Oval in Edmonton. Denise Wessling, home territory here. Looking for some PBs today, I bet. See what these gals can do coming around the final turn here. Let's cheer them on. See what they can do. That's Curry. It's a PB, 46.08 unofficially. And 50.82 for Denise Wessling. In pair 11, we have in the inner lane, Margaret Breedlove of Alberta. In the outer lane, Heidi Beck of Alberta. Got a Masters junior matchup here in this 11th pairing of the 500 meters today. White armband, Margaret Breedlove. Red armband, Heidi Beck. Here they come, last corner. Let's cheer them home. And unofficially, Beck, 47.9. Breedlove, a PB, 50.19. Next, we have pair 12. On the inner lane, Julianne Lazari of Alberta. On the outer lane, Talia Halperin of British Columbia. That's Lazari on the inner lane of Calgary. Halperin of BC, probably hoping for some PBs here today. See what they can do. Back stretch. Some nice views with those cameras if you're able to catch this online. We've got some pretty wonderful technology to share the racing with our viewers through the YouTube channel. Here they come. PB for Halperin, 47.7 and 49.11 for Lazari unofficially. So in our final pairing, we have, this is pairing 13 in the inner lane, Nicole Majai of Alberta. All right, this is Nicole racing on her own. Let's give her a cheer here. I think Nicole is a brand new skater to speed skating. Let's cheer her on. Pretty gutsy to come out and race this weekend. Just learning the ropes. There's Coach Marika cheering her on at the back stretch. Nice lane change. And some crossovers. Excellent work, Nicole. Final corner, cheer on down the home stretch there. Great effort here today. Nice to see you out racing. Good job. Good job, Nicole. Heading home. And that is definitely a PB. Well done. Hope you enjoyed that. All right, we're going to move on to the men's 500s. We have 16 pairs. Men's 500, number 1 at the 2023 Winter Classic. Welcome to everybody tuning in. This is day 1 of 3 for the 2023 Winter Classic here at the Olympic Oval at the University of Calgary. We'll be starting the men's first 500-meter distance of the weekend shortly. We have 16 pairs. We'll also be racing 1,500-meter distances today. after the men's 500 meters. We're just about ready to get going with pair 1, which will feature on the inner lane Caden Witkowski of Alberta and the outer lane Ryan Kolbacki of Manitoba. Once again, this is pair 1 of the men's 500-meter distance. All right, these guys are raring to race. Couple of oval teammates here. Kolbacki learning how to skate, of course, on the outdoor ice in Manitoba, which is always an amazing training ground. Some of the athletes had a chance to race there last weekend. Enjoying the warm temperatures here in the oval today. Well, that's a PB for Ryan Kolbacki, 37.28. Was a 38.97 for Witkowski. Moving on to pair 2 in the inner lane, Sebastian Champagne of Ontario. In the outer lane, Chris Homestead, also of Ontario. And they're off. Welcome to our viewers online through the Olympic Oval YouTube channel. These guys are doing a tune-up race today. Had a busy weekend last weekend and keeping up their training back in Calgary. Coming to the finish line. Unofficially, season's best for Homestead, 36.65 and a 37.16 for Sebastian Champagne. In pair 3, the inner lane, Kieran Hansen of BC. The outer lane, Andre Erasmus of Alberta. These guys also doing some tune-up racing today. That's Hansen with the white armband. Erasmus has the red armband. They're heading home. Unofficially, 36.74 for Hansen and 37.06 for Erasmus. Next pair, pair 4 on the inner lane, Ryan Gibson of Ontario. On the outer lane, Cooper Eamon of Nova Scotia. Okay, they're underway. That's Cooper Eamon, the red armband. Ryan Gibson with the white armband. Cooper Eamon, originally from Nova Scotia. And of course, all the athletes and coaches are very excited to be heading to Nova Scotia for the Long Track Canada Games soon, and to PEI for the short track. That's unofficially a 35:35 for Eamon, season best, and a 35:81 for Gibson. Next, we have pair 5 on the inner lane, Jared Farquharson of Alberta. On the outer lane, Logan Toblin of Alberta. All right, so that's Farquharson with the white armband, Toblin with the red armband. This is a 500-meter distance. Today, February 3rd, the 2023 Winter Classic. A couple of oval teammates doing a tune-up race here today. Maybe looking for some points for the Winter Classic. That's a PB for Toblin, 37:19, 38:31 for Farquharson. Next, we have pair 6 in the inner lane, Eric Angelosi of Alberta. In the outer lane, Will Silk of the USA. That's a clean start. You'll notice Silk in the outer lane has some bare ankles. That's allowed for international competitors, but the Canadian competitors must have all their skin covered up. Heading to the last corner. Angelosi and Silk. All right, that's a PB for Angelosi, 39:42, and for Silk, 39:29. The next race, pair 7 in the inner lane, Evan Boyce of Alberta. In the outer lane, Merrick Choman of Alberta. Couple of Calgary skaters here. Cheer them on, heading home around the last corner. Boyce and Choman. No doubt looking for some PBs today. And that is, both have PBs. Boyce 39.81 and Choman 39.84. In pair 8, inner lane, we have Christopher Veeman of Saskatchewan. And the outer lane, Mikko Veeman of Saskatchewan. Couple of familiar Saskatchewan athletes here. Got Coach Mike Hall sitting in for Tim. Hello, Coach Tim, back in, well, I think he's in Fort St. John today. Here we go. Let's see what happens at the times. That's a 41.7 from Veeman and a 42.19 for Veeman. Sorry. Pair 9 on the inner lane, Riley Vanderberg, Alberta. And the outer lane, James Wigglesworth of Alberta. Couple of up-and-coming young juniors from Alberta racing here now. This is pair 9, men's 500-meter distance at the 2023 Winter Classic here at the University of Alberta, or University of Calgary, sorry. Vanderberg and Wigglesworth heading for the finish line. And that's a PB for Wigglesworth, 41.3, and a 42.43 for Vanderberg. Next, we have pair 10, in the inner lane, Daniel Revy of Alberta. In the outer lane, Mitchell Westling of Alberta. There we go. We got another good match for a couple of Alberta athletes. That's Daniel Revy, the white armband. Mitchell Westling with the red. Coaches Phil and Marika, giving them some instructions on the back side there. Heading for home. Looking for some good times here. Let's see what happens. That's a PB for Revy, 42.32, a 42.75 for Westling. Next we have in pair 11 on the inner lane, Oliver Bath of Alberta. And the outer lane, Justin Aston Courtemanche of Alberta. Another junior masters pairing here. There we go. We got nice transition on the back stretch there, heading to the last corner. Here comes Justin Aston Courtemache and Oliver Bath. Unofficially a PB for Courtemache, 43.19, and Bath, 45.25. Next, we have pair 12. In the inner lane, Marcus Capilli of Saskatchewan. On the outer lane, Isaac Emblin of Ontario. And we're underway with pair 12, men's first 500-meter distance of the weekend. This is day one of our 2023 Winter Classic. In this race, we have Marcus Capilli of Saskatchewan and Isaac Emblin of Ontario. Big hello to everybody watching online. Hope you're enjoying the wonderful video coverage we're able to provide through the University of Calgary's Olympic Oval technicians. That was a PB for Emblin, 42.21, and Capilli's time, 46.77. In pairing 13 on the inner lane, Song Huang of Saskatchewan. On the outer lane, Abagoni Ajiswa of Alberta. Another couple of young juniors here. Establishing some Olympic style long track times, I imagine, this weekend. Ajiswa is another skater who benefits from the outdoor long track ice in Edmonton. Saskatchewan, of course, has a couple of great outdoor ovals too, which makes it kind of fun to come to the oval to see what you can do on your times on the indoor ice on the fastest ice in the world. That's a PB for Huang, 46.15, and for Ajiswa, 47.51. Next, we have pair 14 on the inner lane, Cunio Suhua. On the outer lane, Troy Davidson, both of Alberta. Suhuara has got the white armband and the Alberta team suit. Davidson's in the red and black. Coach Marika has been busy this morning. She's out at the back stretch there. This is pair 14 of the men's first 500 meters this weekend at the 2023 Winter Classic. Heading for the finish line. Looks like a PV for Davidson, 46.36, and a PB for Tsuhuara, 48.72. Sorry, 48.72. Next, we have pair 15 on the inner lane, Samuel Estrada Caro of Alberta. On the outer lane, Cole Olson of Saskatchewan. Some more young juniors looking for some nice Olympic-style long track times here. Let's cheer them on. Estrada Caro of Alberta and Olson of Saskatchewan. There we go, turning the last corner. From Samuel Estrada Caro of the Calgary Speed Skating Association. And that's a PB, 46.0. Here comes Olson. Also a PB, 52.41. And in our last pairing, pair 16 in the inner lane, Ron Johnston. On the outer lane, Bill Blonsky, both of Alberta. Couple of our great Masters skaters here. Pretty familiar to anybody who's around the Olympic Oval. Camera's on Bill Blonsky there. And there's Ron Johnston heading for the last corner. One of our amazing senior skaters. Heading for home. Looking smooth. Let's cheer him on. Good job, Ron. There we go. 52.54 for Ron Johnston unofficially. Here comes Bill. Let's cheer on Bill. Bill Blonsky heading for home. Men's 500 meter distance. Day one of the 2023 Winter Classic. Go, Bill. Nicely done. 1:19.63 for Bill. All right, that concludes our men's 500 meter distance today on day one of the 2023 Winter Classic. We will be returning to racing at 10:30 Mountain Time. We'll be starting with the women's 1,500 meter distance, followed by the men's 1,500 meters. And that will be all the racing we're doing today at the Winter Classic. But points are on the line. Lots of great prizes for the classic competitors. We're going to have an ice resurfacing, I believe, and we'll be back to racing at 10:30 a.m. Hello, everyone. We're going to start racing again at 10:30, about 7 minutes. We're going to be starting with the women's 1,500-meter distance. We have 10 pairs. Following the women's event, we'll be moving into the men's 1,500 meters, and there are 16 pairs for men. Don't forget that all skaters must have their own armbands. Take them to the start line. Please no trains with more than 2 skaters together, and rest on the inside of the warm-up lane only. Also, please remember that there should be no accelerations on the start turn and through the start area. We are racing here today at the Olympic Oval at the University of Calgary for the Winter Classic 2023. This is day 1 of 3 days. Tomorrow we're going to feature 1,000-meter distances and also the women's 3,000 meters and the men's 5,000-meter distances. On Sunday, we're going to have the second races of the 500-meter and 1,000-meter distances, as well as mass start racing. All right, we're going to be underway shortly. We're doing the women's 1,500-meter distance. Welcome to anyone tuning in online or through the YouTube channel. This is Friday, February 3rd, 2023, and you've tuned into the Winter Classic 2023 at the Olympic Oval at the University of Calgary. We have had some adjustments to the start lists this morning, so check the online information for the most current start lists. Both the women's and the men's start lists have been adjusted. So we will have some prizes for the 1,500-meter distance today, since we only have one 1,500-meter this weekend. And we have 4 categories for this Winter Classic, or the Classic Series. We have senior, neo-senior, ages 16 to 18 juniors, and ages 14 to 15 juniors. And there will be a water bottle for today's racing for the top racers. And And Dustin Miller, our competitions coordinator, one of the competitions coordinators at the Oval, will also be calculating the Classic Series overall champions for the 1500 as soon as possible. And if we have some of them here, we might try and get you to come out and have your photo taken as well. So you're one of the top point getters. Hang around a bit after racing. Looks like we're just about ready to go here with the women's 1500 meters. Our first pair is going to feature in the inner lane Sarah Hopkins of Canada, and in the outer lane Brielle Durham of Ontario. We're underway with this first 1500 meter race here at the 2023 Winter Classic Women's Division. The white armband, we have Sarah Hopkins. And the red armband is Brielle Durham. Welcome to everybody who might be tuning in online. Thank you for joining us. I'm sure you're enjoying the great camera coverage we have here at the Olympic Oval through the magic of our technicians, including John Little and his team. Greg Plannard, of course, always involved in the organization here. That's Brielle Durham leading this race. Recent lap time 32:89. Sarah Hopkins 33:31. Just to confirm, the next pair will be Dallaire, Cloutier. The third pair will be Freitag and Mallard. And that's a bell lap for Brielle Durham of Ontario. Training here at the Olympic Oval in Calgary. Coach Phil Reipel giving her some instructions. Let's cheer them both on. Coming around the last corner. That's Brielle Durham heading for home, followed by Sarah Hopkins. Brielle's time unofficially 2:12:60. Sarah Hopkins 2:17:59, season's best. All right, moving on to pair number 2 in the inner lane, Serena Dallaire of Saskatchewan. In the outer lane, Ella Cloutier of Saskatchewan. Both of these athletes from Saskatchewan on the white armband. We got Serena Dallaire and the red armband, Ella Cloutier. Their beautiful new Team Saskatchewan Canada Winter Games suits. They're doing some tune-up racing here this weekend. Looking forward to heading to Nova Scotia for the long track event there later this month. Pretty exciting times. That's substitute coach Mike Hall in the back stretch there. Once again, this is his second pair, women's 1500 meter distance at the 2023 Winter Classic. Most recent lap time for Dallaire, 32.77. And Cloutier, 31.85. Cloutier's currently in the lead for the ladies in the with only 2 pairs, of course, but currently in the lead spot. Oh, a little slip there. All right, so that was Cloutier took a bit of a spill there. Looks like she's fine, but she'll be done her race here. That leaves Serena Dallaire to finish the race. Coming around the last corner. All right, let's cheer Serena on, heading home. Nice, 2:13.47. Imagine the officials are gonna check out the ice there. Our chief referee, Rona Hathaway, having a look. Gonna do a bit of an ice repair before moving on to the third pair of the women's 1,500 meters. We'll have a slight delay. Next pairing in the third pair will be Freitag and Mallard, followed by Yin and Champagne. And don't forget, athletes, you need to have your own armbands at the starting area. Once again, the Oval has some lovely water bottles for this weekend's event. Winners of the events this weekend for all 4 categories: senior, neo-senior, 16 to 18, and 14 to 15. So make sure you're checking in if you think you may have won something. And the Oval team will also be calculating overall winners for the Classic Series that has happened all season. We have some really wonderful craft headbands from one of our sponsors to award to distance champions for the Classic Series. Since we have 2 separate 500 meter and 1,000 meter events, they'll be calculating the 500s and 1,000s on Sunday. Calculate the 1,500s today. And the mass start, of course, on Sunday as well. Tomorrow we'll have the 3Ks and the 5Ks. There'll be some points calculated for those tomorrow. The amazing Olympic Oval ice crew there, fixing up the ice. One of the reasons skaters love to come here is because it is such fabulous ice, not just the fastest ice in the world, but really nice ice to race and skate on. And of course, our crews are some of the best in the world. So it truly is a great place to come enjoy some speed skating. Looks like we're going to get underway with our third pair, which will feature in the inner lane Rachel Freitag of Ontario, and on the outer lane Rachel Millard of Ontario. Welcome to all the listeners online. Both of these Ontario athletes are training here at the Olympic Oval in Calgary. Familiar training mates and competitors. His Oval coaches Christina Lazarescu and Phil Reipel at the back stretch there, giving them some tips. Let's see what their lap times are here. That's 1.92 for Freitag and 1.95 for Mallard. All right, digging hard. Last lap for this pairing. Coach is encouraging them. Dig deep, ladies. Last corner, coming to the finish. If you're here in person, cheer them on. All right, let's see what their times are. Unofficially, that's a 2:10.68 for Freitag and 2:11.20 for Mallard. Moving on to pair 4. In the inner lane, Qi Yin of China. In the outer lane, Isabelle Champagne of Alberta. That's Qi Yin with the white armband. Isabelle Champagne with the red armband. Quick start for that 1,500 meters distance. It's a recent lap time for Qi Yin of 28:53. Comes Qi Yin for her bell lap. That's a 29:77 lap time for her. Oval coach Todd Clements giving her some instructions. Phil Reipel with Isabelle Champagne coming through her last lap. And there's Qi Yin, their last corner, heading for home. Digging deep. That's a 1:56.41, season's best for Qi Yin as far as we're aware. And a PB for Champagne, 2:07.06. Well raced, ladies. Moving on to pair number 5 on the inner lane, Sydney Benny of BC. And the outer lane, Robin Saleh of Manitoba. Big thanks to all our volunteers for coming out. That's Myron Pierman doing the starting for us today. And this 1,500-meter race at the 2023 Winter Classic is the pair number 5, featuring Sydney Benny of British Columbia with the white armband and Robin Saleh of Manitoba with the red armband. Skating their own races here. Beautiful view on the video if you're watching online. That was a 33:31 lap time for Saleh last lap. 35:78 for Benny. And that's the bell lap for Robin Saleh. .500 meters. Using those arms on the back stretch there. That's Saleh coming home. Let's cheer her on. Followed by Sydney Benny. Unofficially, 2:12.95 for Saleh. And unofficially, a season's best for Benny, 2:21.75. Next, we have pair 6 in the inner lane, Cassandra Curry of Alberta. And the outer lane, Camille Alford of Alberta. And they're off. This is Cassandra Curry on the inner lane, Camille Alford on the outer. Women's 1,500-meter distance at the 2023 Winter Classic. Couple of young juniors here. Camille Alford, red armband, white armband, Cassandra Curry of Edmonton. Coach Phil giving both the skaters some instructions on the backside there. Okay, here comes Camille for her bell notice. One more lap for these athletes. There we come, the last corner. Let's cheer them to the finish line. This is a hard distance. That's Camille in the red and black, Cassandra in the full black. All right, unofficially, that's a 2:18.97 for Camille, 2:27.93 for Cassandra. In pair number 7, inner lane, Talia Halperin, BC. Outer lane, Lewis Spence of Alberta. They're underway for this pair number 7 1,500 meter race. Got This is Talia Halperin and Lewis Spence. We might have got some technical problems here, not sure what's happening. Looks like Talia Halperin has been helped at the edge of the ice. We have an equipment issue. That's Lewis Spence skating on her own for this 1,500 meter distance. All right, let's cheer Lewis on. One more lap. Coach Marika on the back stretch there. And keep at it. Last corner. Go Lewis. Heading home. All right, well raced. That was a 2:31.77 unofficially. All right, pair 8 in the inner lane. Melissa Scutchings of Saskatchewan, and the outer lane, Heidi Beck of Alberta. Once again on the inner lane, Melissa Scutchings of Saskatchewan, and outer lane, Heidi Beck of Alberta. This is pair number 8 at the 2023 Winter Classic, 1500 meter women's division on day 1 of the Winter Classic. It's February 3rd. Coaches Mike Hall and Marika Nadell giving some instructions on the back stretch there. We'll have 2 more pairs, or 2 more races. And then we're going to move on to the men's division. Recent lap time, Heidi Beck, 37.65. Melissa Scutchings, 38.19. Pretty nice pairing here for these 2 skaters. That's the bell lap for Heidi Beck, followed by Melissa Scutchings. Final lap of the 1500 meter distance here at the Winter Classic. Ladies are digging deep on the back stretch here. All right, final corner. Cheer him home. Finish hard, ladies. Unofficially, that's a 2:30.74 for Beck and a PB for Scutchings at 2:31.78. Nice. All right, moving on to pair 9 in the inner lane. Julianne Lazari of Alberta. On the outer lane, Margaret Breedlove, also of Alberta. That's Lazari with the white armband and Breedlove with the red. Soon to be coming around the corner for the folks cheering in person. All right, that's a 31.86 lap time for Breedlove, 32.08 for Lazari. Early stages of this 1500 meter distance. Once again, we have 1 more race after this one for the ladies division. Then we're going to be moving into the men's 1500 meters. And that will conclude racing for today, day 1 of the 2023 Winter Classic. Most recent lap time for Breedlove was 38.67, Lazari 39.98. Looking focused. These ladies moving into their final lap. It's Margaret Breedlove in the yellow and turquoise, red armband. Coach telling her to leave everything on the ice. All right, that's Breedlove heading for the finish line. And her 1,500-meter distance. Nice. PB at 2:28.71. And here comes Julianne Lazari. Pushing hard in this last straightaway. And that's a PB for Lazari as well. 2:41.46. Well skated, ladies. Okay, we have one more race. Pair 10 on the inner lane. Denise Westling. That's Denise Westling of Lethbridge, Alberta, racing her 1,500-meter distance at the 2023 Winter Classic. Racing on her own, so if you're here in person, give her some encouragement. If you're watching this here at the Oval. Just a reminder that we do have some water bottle prizes for today's 1,500-meter races. For each of the 4 categories, the senior, the neo-senior, the 16 to 18 year, and the 14 to 15 year categories. And we will also have some overall prizes for the Classic Series. But Dustin has to calculate them, so there might be a few minutes doing that. And here we have Denise Westling racing her 1,500 meters. Most recent lap time, 40.94. Nice steady pace. Coach Phil giving her some instructions. Coach Phil Reipel will be manager for Team Alberta at the Canada Winter Games long track, and Coach Christina Lazarescu will be the head coach for Team Alberta. That's the bell lap for Denise Westling, 1,500 meters. Pushing hard on the home, or on the back stretch there. Finishing on the outer lane is Denise Westling. Last corner. Give her a good cheer coming home. Our final 1,500 meter women's competitor. That's a season's best for Denise, 2:41.72. And well-raced ladies. You can see the overall results on the board in person here. You can see the results online as well. But keep in mind we have some different categories for prizes. We have senior, neo-senior, 16 to 18, and 14, 15 years. We'll be starting the men's 1500 meter races at 11:30 Mountain Time. We'll have 16 races for the men's 1500. We're going to do an ice resurfacing first. We'll be starting the men's racing in about 15 minutes. The Winter Classic 1,500-meter distance. Don't forget that skaters will need to have their own armbands. There's no trains with more than 2 skaters, please. And rest on the inside of the warm-up lane only. Also, there should be no accelerations on the start, turn, and through the start area. Well, we got about 8 minutes to go before we start the men's event. The 2023 Winter Classic, 1,500 meters. I'm going to do some test shots here. So do check the updated race list in person if you're here, and online otherwise, or both if you like. There was a slight revision earlier today. First race is going to be Rasmus and Witkowski, second Silk and Farquharson, third Rutledge and Eshett. All right, I can let you know that today's Winter Classic 1,500 meter winners, prize winners in the women's division are, for the seniors category, Ki Yin. The neo-senior category, Rachel Freitag. And in the 16 to 18 junior category, Rachel Millard. In the 14 to 15 year category, Isabel Champagne. So well done, ladies. That's Ki Yin, Rachel Freitag, Rachel Millard, Isabel Champagne, who have earned themselves a lovely oval water bottle today. So once again, we're going to be doing the men's 1,500 meter distance here, day one of the Winter Classic 2023. Today is February 3rd. We have 2 more days of racing. Tomorrow, which is day 2, Saturday, February 4th, we will have men's and women's 1,000 meter distances. We will also have women's 3000s and men's 5000 distances. On Sunday, February 5th, day 3 of the Winter Classic, we will have the second round of 500 meters and 1,000 meters racing. And we'll also have mass starts on Sunday. I believe we'll be starting tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock again. Looks like we're getting ready to start the first race. Don't forget, athletes, no accelerations on the start term or through the start area. And you must bring your armbands to the start line. So we will have 16 races in the men's 1,500 meter distance today at the 2023 Winter Classic. Our first pair will feature on the inner lane, Andre Erasmus of Alberta. And in the outer lane, Caden Witkowski of Alberta. All right, we're underway with this first men's 1,500 meter race featuring two Alberta athletes, Andre Erasmus and Caden Witkowski. Both athletes looking to improve on their season's best. Today, this weekend. We'll get the split times up here shortly. Little technical delay. All right, that was Andre Rasmus and Caden Witkowski. Be looking for their official times on the line. We're moving on to the second pair, featuring in the inner lane, Will Silk of the USA. And the outer lane, Jared Farquharson of Alberta. Kind of a slight delay with the second race while we get some technical details ironed out. This is race number 2 of our men's 1500 meters here at the 2023 Winter Classic at the University of Alberta. I keep saying Alberta today. University of Calgary Olympic Oval. This is Will Silk of the US of A, racing our own Jared Farquharson today in the 1500. Very close PBs for these young men. Should be a good race. Let's see what their lap times are this round. That's a 28:47 for Will Silk and a 29:27 for Jared Farquharson. That's the bell for Will Silk and Jared Farquharson in this second pairing of our men's 1500 meters. Silk's last lap time was 29:4. Farquharson 30.93. And that's Will Silk cruising to the finish line. I think he's looking for a new PB here. That's a 154.82 for Silk and a 158.71 for Farquharson. Moving on to pair number 3 in the inner lane, Ben Routledge of Manitoba. In the outer lane, Darius Eshett of Australia. Once again, that's Ben Routledge of Manitoba with the white armband, Darius Eshett with the red armband. In this third pairing of the men's 1500 meters, 2023 Winter Classic, our day 1 racing is underway. We have some nice water bottle prizes for the top finishers today in 4 different categories. We have the senior, the neo-senior, the 16 to 18, and the 14 to 15 categories. So we'll be giving away 4 water bottles. And Dustin will be calculating the overall classic points champions and letting the athletes know who the winners are. So that's Rutledge with a 28:16 lap time last round and 29:64 for Hachette. Rutledge has set a fast pace here this morning. That's the bell lap for these gentlemen. Ben Rutledge currently leading this distance here at the Winter Classic in our third pairing. Looking very strong. Here comes Darius Hachette in his beautiful Australian suit. All right, here comes Ben Rutledge. Let's see what his time is. 1:55:07. That's a PB for Ben. Nicely done. And that's 1:59:92 for Darius. Moving on, we have in pair 4, inner lane, Marc-Andre Doyen of Saskatchewan. In the outer lane, Ben Donnelly of Ontario. Once again, this is pair 4 of the men's 1,500-meter distance. Exciting pairing for Marc-Andre Doyen with Ben Donnelly, who's just come back to competition. Great to see him racing here today. See what the lap times are here. That's a 25:98 for Marc-Andre and a 27:01 for Ben Donnelly. That's the bell lap. Nice cheering going on. Please feel free to cheer them on. This is we got the past, present, and future all in this race here, and so glad to see this exciting race. Let's cheer them on here. It's Marc-Andre Doyen and Ben Donnelly, 1,500 meters. That's a PB for Marc-Andre, 1:47:45, and we got a season's best for Ben Donnelly, 1:48:44. Well raced, guys. Welcome back, Ben. All right. Moving on to pair number 5, inner lane, Alexander Giannotti of Ontario. And the outer lane, Eric Angelosi of Alberta. This is pair number 5, Alexander Giannotti and Eric Angelosi. That's a 26.1 lap time for Giannotti, 26:75 for Angelosi. All right, that was a 29:22 for Giannotti, 30.87 for Angelosi. Coach is encouraging these young men. That's a bell lap for Giannotti and Angelosi. There they come around the final corner. Alexander Giannotti heading for home. Unofficially, it's a PB, 158.78. Well done, Alexander. And a PB for Eric Angelosi, 204.84. Well raced, guys. Okay, moving on to pair number 6. In the inner lane, Marek Choman of Alberta. In the outer lane, Pratik Prasad of India. And strong on the first lap and a half. Red armband is Pratik Prasad, and the white armband is Eric Choman. Both training here at the Olympic Oval. Familiar with this ice? This is pair 6 of the men's 1500 meters. We have 16 races. That's the bell lap for Prasad and Choman. Choman's most recent lap time, 31.86, and Prasad, 32.92. Heading to the last corner. Here they come, cheer them on. And that's a PB for Marek Choman, 201.08. And it's a 203.34 for Pratik Prasad. Moving on to pair number 7. In the inner lane, Christopher Veeman of Saskatchewan. In the outer lane, Mitchell Westling of Alberta. And they're off with this 1,500 meter distance. Christopher Veeman, Mitchell Westling. Big thank you to Kim Fraunberger for coming out today to do some starting with Myron Bierman. Okay, let's see what their lap times are. That's a 32:26 for Veman and a 33 for Westling. Coaches, as usual, saying to increase the tempo. Sometimes wonder if coaches get tired of saying up, up. All right, that's a 33:67 for Veman and a 34:5 for Westling on their final lap, heading to the finish of this 1,500 meter distance. Coaches tell them to dig deep, boys. Let's go. And here comes Christopher Veman heading to the finish, followed by Mitchell Westling. Unofficially, at the 2:09.87 season's best for Veman and a PB for Mitchell Westling, 2:11.22. Nicely done. All right, moving on to pair number 8. In the inner lane, Riley Vanderberg of Alberta. In the outer lane, Miko Veman of Saskatchewan. Couple of young skaters on the track for this pair number 8 of our 2023 Winter Classic, 1,500 meter distance. Lap time for Riley Vanderberg, 28.3. Mika Veman, 28.03. That's Vanderberg with the white armband. Veman with the red. Young skaters looking for some PBs today. We've had some nice personal bests and season's bests already in this event this morning. All the hard work is paying off. That's the bell lap for Riley Vanderberg and Miko Veman, 1,500 meter distance. Vanderberg's last lap, 34.57, and Veman, 34.55. Heading into the last corner. Cheer them home. Here they come. Finishing hard. Unofficially, that's a PB for Veman, 2:10.111. And Vanderberg also PB, 2:10.97. Well raced. Okay, we're moving on to pair number 9. In the inner lane, James Wigglesworth of Alberta. And on the outer lane, Daniel Revy of Alberta. the 1,500-meter distance, raced by James Wigglesworth and Daniel Revy. See how their lap times compare. That was a 31:23 for Wigglesworth and a 32:66 for Revy. There we go, these young Alberta skaters. And that was the bell lap. Oh, a little slip on the back stretch there, but we've seen a nice recovery. This is James Wigglesworth coming home. See what his time is. Finish hard, James. That's a PB, 2:04.94. Nice race for James. We had a little slip on the backside there for Revy, but okay, I think we're going to move on with race 10. Pair 10 on the inner lane, Justin Assen-Courtemanche of Alberta. On the outer lane, Evan Boyce of Alberta. All right, that's Justin Assen-Courtemanche on the inner lane with Evan Boyce on the outer lane. 1,500-meter distance on day one of our 2023 Winter Classic. First lap under their belts. All right, lap time for Boyce is 32:52. Assen-Courtemanche is 33:42. It's 1,500-meter distance. Keeping Coach Marika busy on the backside there. That's the bell lap for these athletes. Evan Boyce, the red armband. Justin Assen-Courtemanche with the white armband. Looking to finish hard on their 1,500-meter race today. All right, cheer 'em on as they're coming out of the last corner here down the straightaway, heading for home. All right, that was a 2:13:49 PB for Asen Courtemage and a 2:13:58 PB for Boyce. In pair 11, inner lane, we have Isaac Emblin of Ontario. And in the outer lane, Octavian Moga of Alberta. So this is a 1,500 meter race. It's pair 11 of 16 at the 2023 Winter Classic Day 1 competition. The white armband, we have Isaac Emblin. The red armband is Octavian Moga. The most recent lap times, 34:47 for Isaac Emblin and 37 for Octavian Moga. That's the bell lap for Isaac Emblem of Ontario. Recent lap time 37:21 with Octavian Moga. All right, final corner. Give Isaac a cheer as he comes towards the finish line. Working hard here. And that's a PB, 2:19:30. Here comes Octavian with a 2:27:69, season's best. Well skated, guys. In pair number 12, inner lane, we have Song Huang of Saskatchewan. In the outer lane, Marcus Capilli of Saskatchewan. Couple of young Saskatchewan athletes in this race. The red armband, Marcus Capilli. The white armband, Song Huang. Lap time, Capilli's was 30:31 and Huang 30:67. This is pair number 12, the men's 1,500 meters at the 2023 Winter Classic. $36.72 for Marcus Capilli, $36.79 for Huasong Huang. All right, final lap. That was Huang with a 37.27 lap time. Capilli, 38.49. Oh, here they come, heading to the finish line. Let's cheer them on. Huang and Capilli. That's a PB for Huang, 221.82, and a PB for Capilli, 224.60. Pair number 13 in the inner lane, Obagani Ojiswa of Alberta. On the outer lane, Troy Davidson of Alberta. That's Davidson with the red armband. Lap time 31.49. Ojiswa with the white armband, 31.48. Davidson's lap time, 36.57. Ojiswa, 39.06. Men's 1,500 meter distance. This is pair number 13 of 16. 2 Alberta athletes on the track. That was the bell lap for Troy Davidson. Most recent lap time, 39.04. Abagani Ojiswa was 43.29 on his lap. There's Troy Davidson heading for home. Let's cheer him on. That's a PB for Troy, 226.70. Well skated, Troy. Here comes Obagani heading for the finish line. Another PB, 238.59. Well raced, guys. Okay, moving on to pair number 14. In the inner lane, Samuel Estrada Caro of Alberta. In the outer lane, Cunio Suhuara of Alberta. Underway with race 14, pair 14, men's 1500 meters. Day 1 of the 2023 Winter Classic. Wearing a Calgary suit. The white armband, that's Samuel Estrada Caro. The oval suit, red armband, Cunio Suhuara. Lap time for Estrada Caro, 37.6. And Suhuara, 40.24. Getting into the groove for this race. Pacing's always tricky when you're trying to figure this one out. Okay, that's the bell lap for these racers. One more lap, guys. Dig deep. Teammates cheering them on. Excellent. Keep at it. Almost there. Here they come. Getting that last curve under the belt. Corner and straightaway. Heading for home. Let's cheer them on. Oh, it's hard. Nice. That's a PB, 238.72 for Tsuhuara, and a PB for Estrada Caro, 240.55. Nice. That's a check mark. All right, moving on to pair number 15. On the inner lane, Ron Johnston of Alberta. Outer lane, Cole Olson of Saskatchewan. Right, this is pair 15, the men's 1500 meter distance. Green suit and red armband is Cole Olson from Saskatchewan. The black suit with the white armband is Ron Johnston of Alberta. Pretty close lap times there. Johnston 35.36, Olson 35.85. Looking to take advantage of this great ice here at the University of Calgary Olympic Oval. Had lots of PBs today so far, and season's best. All right, that was a 41.81 lap for Ron Johnston, 41.9 for Cole Olson. A nice shot if you're watching online. Thank you for joining us if you are watching online on the Olympic Oval YouTube channel, and they will be archived. The racing will be archived. So that's the bell lap for these gentlemen. Cole Olson and Ron Johnston. That was a good pairing for these two. There they come, cheer them home. This is Cole Olson leading the way with Ron Johnston right in there. Looking for some good times today. The 2023 Winter Classic, that's a PB for Cole Olson, 2:43.56, and a season's best for Ron Johnston, 2:45.94. Well skated. All right, we have one more race to go in our 1,500-meter distance. On the inner lane, Bill Blonsky of Alberta. Bill Blonsky underway with his 1,500-meter race here at the Winter Classic. Give him a cheer if you're down at the ice surface. Help him along. This is our last race for day one. And we will be calculating the results for the men's division for today's racing. Some nice water bottles on the line here. We have the senior, the neo-senior, 16 to 18 and 14 to 15 categories, with winners receiving a water bottle courtesy of the Olympic Oval. The organizers will also be calculating the season's champions of the Classic Series, the 2022-2023 Classic Series. And overall winners will be receiving a beautiful craft headband. I think they're from Sweden, I heard. So quite nice. Bill's continuing with his race here. Good to see a nice mix of skaters here today. Some young juniors who are just getting their first times under their belt, and we have some experienced skaters doing some tune-up racing. We have a couple who are reestablishing some times in their distances so that they can race again. Pretty exciting. This is Bill Blonsky of Alberta on the track right now, 1,500 meters. We'll be doing the women's and the men's 1,000-meter distances tomorrow, day 2. And we will also do a women's 3K distance and a men's 5K distance tomorrow. Day 3 of the Winter Classic will be 500 meters, 1,000 meters, our second attempts at those distances, and a mass start. This is Bill. Let's cheer him on as he's coming over near the stands. And that's the bell lap for Bill Blonsky. Heading into his last lap. Big thank you to all the volunteers, coaches, families, and of course our athletes for coming out today. Bill's coming around the last corner. Let's cheer him on, everybody. Here he comes in his blue suit. Bill Blonsky heading to home. Well done, Bill. All right, unofficially. 3:58:45. Good job, Bill. All right. So today's winners for the 1500 in the seniors, again, we had Ki Yin. We have neo-senior Rachel Freitag. 16 to 18 category is Rachel Millard. 14 to 15 category, Isabel Champagne. And the men's division for the 1500 meters today, water bottle winners. Senior Ben Donnelly. Neo-senior Marc-Andre Doyen. 16 to 18 category is Will Silk of the US of A. And the 14 to 15 category is winner is Marek Choman. Congratulations, everyone. Well skated. We will see you tomorrow for day 2 of the Winter Classic. Thanks for joining us online as well.